All right, today we're going to break down a pretty wild forensic report that's making some huge claims about what's really going on inside the Solana ecosystem. It suggests that behind the comeback story and all the talk of institutional adoption, something else is happening. So let's get into it.
And right here, this quote, this is the heart of the whole argument. It's basically saying that what looks like growth and success is actually a sophisticated system designed to pull wealth out of the ecosystem. That's a massive accusation, right? So let's see how the report actually tries to back that up.
So the whole thing starts by setting up this idea of a promise that the report claims was fundamentally broken. It's this classic story of high-minded ideals running headfirst into the realities of big money.
Okay, so let's rewind for a sec. Remember why everyone got so hyped about Solana in the first place? It was all about these incredible promises, right? Blazing fast technology, a mission to open up finance for everybody, breaking away from the old guard, and maybe most importantly, creating a level playing field. This is the stuff that brought in all the developers and early believers.
But here's the twist. According to this analysis, the very community that weathered the storm, that stuck by Solana after the whole FTX mess, they allegedly got the exact opposite of what they were promised. Instead of fairness and decentralization, the report alleges they got a system captured by institutions and designed for financial extraction.
Okay, so if there's a problem, who's behind it? The report points to some very specific players and what it calls their new weapon in this whole operation.
Yeah, the report comes right out and names names, calling these three powerful firms the Solana cartel. The claim is that they've basically taken over the financial plumbing of the entire ecosystem, from governance and liquidity right down to network validation.
And this is where things get, well, kind of weird. The weapon of choice here, according to the report, is a company called Forward Industries. And get this wasn't some hot new tech company. It was a 60-year-old manufacturer that made cases for things like diabetic monitors. The analysis claims its real value wasn't in what it made, but in its clean NASDAQ ticker, which let it pivot into crypto without all the usual scrutiny of a brand new IPO. And boom, just like that, this old manufacturing shell gets the green light to raise, wait for it, $4 billion. That number alone should tell you the scale of what we're talking about here.
All right, this brings us to the real nuts and bolts of it all, the mechanics. How does this supposed wealth transfer machine actually work?
So how does this thing work? Well, the report says it's basically a three-part machine, using three financial tools that, on the surface, look like they shouldn't even work together. Okay, check this out. On one side, you've got something called an at-the-market offering, or ATM. That's just a fancy way of saying the company can constantly print and sell new shares. But then, on the other side, they have a share buyback program where they use cash to buy shares. And sandwiched right in the middle is the Resale Prospectus, which the report basically calls the VC exit door. It sounds totally contradictory, right? Selling and buying at the same time? But the analysis claims it's all about the sequence. And here's how that sequence allegedly plays out. Step 1. The company sells new shares to you, the public, through that ATM offering to get cash. Step 2. The VCs use that resale prospectus to dump their own private shares onto the public. And step 3. The company then takes the cash it just got from you and uses it to buy back shares, which helps keep the price stable while the VCs are cashing out. See the loop? The report's big claim here is that retail money is literally just being recycled to guarantee the big players a profitable exit. So you might be asking, where did the VCs get these assets in the first place? Well, the report points out that a huge chunk of the SOL held by Forward Industries came directly from the FTX bankruptcy, and they got it at a massive discount, up to 60% below the market price. And guess who managed that sale? Galaxy Digital, one of the very firms we've been talking about. But wait, there's more. The analysis argues that this isn't some brand new genius strategy. It's a playbook they say we've seen before with absolutely catastrophic results. Yeah, the report draws a straight, unbroken line from what's happening with Solana and Forward Industries all the way back to the infamous collapse of Terra/Luna in 2022. And a huge part of that argument is that some of the exact same big money players, specifically Jump Crypto and Galaxy Digital, were major figures in both stories. And just look at this side-by-side comparison from the report. It's pretty striking. In both cases, you have heavy institutional backing. You have super sophisticated financial games being played.
You have retail FOMO pushing prices to crazy levels. And crucially, you have a pre-planned exit ramp ready to go for the insiders.
And the report really drives the point home with this one line. The pattern is identical, only the vehicle has changed. It's a powerful claim that this is just the same old game, but on a new playing field.
So, where does all of this leave Solana? What does it mean for its future? Well, the analysis wraps up by laying out two very, very different paths that it could take from here. First, the report describes the current situation as this brutally unfair two-tier system. You've got the institutions on one side getting assets at huge discounts and engineering their own profitable exits. They get all the profit. Then you have retail on the other side. The report claims their role is to buy in at a premium, provide the money for the institutions to cash out, and get their own stake diluted, all while taking on pretty much all of the risk. And this leads to what the report calls a fork in the road for Solana. Path A is, well, more of the same. The institutional extraction continues, and Solana just becomes another tool for hedge funds. But then there's Path B, community reclamation. This is where the builders, the users, everyone who believed in the original promise demands transparency and pushes the ecosystem back to its decentralized roots. The report's point is that this choice isn't some far-off thing. It's happening right now.
And that brings us to the final lingering question the analysis leaves us with. It's a direct challenge, really. Will the community fight to reclaim what they built? Or are they just going to stand by and watch it get sold off piece by piece to the highest bidder? It really frames this whole thing not just as a financial drama, but as a battle for the very soul of Solana.